Yeah, 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 yeah. I like my cocktails quite sweet, icy, Mr. King nigga vibe. Yeah, we in the backyard, pricey, nice seats when we living that life. Yeah, yeah, I swear I'm in paradise. All my haters hitting me up. Yeah, they dwellers on me so get now.
Welcome back to it, ladies and gentlemen. You know when we go big, we go bad. And this is how we roll out the red carpet entertainment Apago Ekse. Joining me via Skype, DJ Kaygo, born as Kgotso Soweto, did many things and usebenza nabantu abaninzi apha kwi-industry. He's a hip-hop DJ who is looking to venture out asebenze nabanye abantu abaninzi so that the industry elevates when it comes to talent that he touch bases with. 8 years ago, waqala uDJ kwi-event yakhe, and 5 years ago, while in love with behind the scenes when it comes to production. He has worked with the likes of OPH, or Focalistics, the Dream Team, and plenty more. But instead of speaking for him, let me invite him to the conversation and let the man speak for himself and let you know why he does what he does. Kaygo, welcome to Ekse and thank you for joining us.
Hey guys, how you guys doing?
We're good. Yazi, I don't know whether I'm biased or whatever, but I love hip hop. And for you opting to be a hip hop DJ other than ezinye genres, it speaks volumes to me because it's not a genre that is easy to mix. Am I correct?
Yeah, it's not. It's very hard to mix, whether it's production from a production point of view or even from just a DJ. Yeah, it definitely is not the easiest compared to the other genres. Yeah.
Take me 8 years ago when you first fell in love with DJing.
Sure. So 8 years ago, I started an event with my friends. We used to essentially host house parties at my friend's house. They became quite a success after some time. So we essentially decided, actually, let's make this, let's formalize this and make it a thing. So we started at the closest place to our hood, which was Pini Piatti at Cocoon Mall. And we started then, man. We needed DJs and we didn't have anyone else to DJ. So we just DJed ourselves. It was about 4 or 5 of us. And we'd host from about 12 p.m. in the afternoon until about 2 a.m. in the evening. 2 a.m. in the morning. So there was about 5 of us just doing that shift for about, I think, 6 months. So I learned a lot, learned how to DJ, met a lot of people. It was a great growth experience, and I eventually fell in love with the art since that day.
Breaking through the South African industry is not something that is very easy for most people to do. What do you think you are doing right? Because the list of people that you've worked with already is impressive.
Sure. I think it's very hard to essentially establish yourself as an artist in South Africa. I think it's even harder when you're in different parts of the country. Like I know it's Cape Town, Durban. The guys always try and move me here, but it's even harder here because there's lots of us here. I think I think the social scene was where I learned how to meet, network, and essentially get to know everyone that I've worked with. Everyone that I've worked with, I've actually been friends with them previously before we actually made the song, which made it easier to actually get into the studio with these guys. And just call up Focalistic and be like, yo bro, let's do a session. And I was like, yeah man, been waiting for it. So I think it's because I became friends with these guys. We hung out in the same social scenes. We went to the same parties. I DJed at some of the parties they were at. So I've become very close with some of the artists that I've worked with. So it became easier for me to hit them up and say, yo man, let's jump in the studio and just do a quick song.
You're what we call a global trotter. Like you play in places like Cape Town, and then the next thing you know, Kaygo is in the UK, London. What's your favorite place to play at?
Sure. I will not lie, Durban.
Yeah?
Durban is probably one of the best places because everyone is just pure fun. I don't know how to explain it, but there's just some euphoria in the club. It's just a different vibe. But yeah, I think Durban definitely takes the cake.
Yeah. 2020 was such a horrible year globally. and yet you managed to get into the studio and come up with something that can lift up our souls. And we want us to move our bodies and dance like every other South African does in December. What inspired Paradise? Because it's quite a jam.
Sure. I think I was quite intentional with that song when I made it. I wanted to make a summer song. I wanted to feature the people that I featured, and everything just came together naturally. I think the best part about making this song was that everyone that I worked with were all friends. Like not me being friends with this guy, this guy individually, but together we were actually like friends. So myself, to the stars, Green Team, Big Fast Cast, it was somewhat natural. So before we even started recording, we just having fun, just making laughs. For about 2 hours before we actually made the song. And I think that's very important to have that connection with the people that you're working with, because that then brings to us songs like Paradise. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I know that Abantu Banjengo, Gemini Major, Deleuze, OPH are on your books, but are you looking to introducing us to fresh talent, raw talent, people that we don't know of yet, so that South Africa is exposed to a talent that is raw?
That is a very good question. I think it's probably one of the mandates for myself going forward. I think most of the singles that I've dropped them with the people that I've worked with. Essentially, for one, because I knew that we were going to make a really cool song, and two, these are people that are established, and for me coming up, I needed that to essentially help me come up. So I think it's about time that we, or myself as a DJ, start doing that for other artists as well. So definitely I've worked with a couple. I don't want to mention any names as yet because the songs aren't finished. I think that's kind of like, it's bad karma. But yeah, there are definitely a couple artists that I've touched base with, that I've worked with. We have finished songs that haven't been, that aren't really as popular as Gemini Majors and PH.
5 singles later, you keep on coming with a hit after hit after hit. Do you ever feel any pressure before you give us something to listen to? What's the process, the creative process, and how confident do you become when you want to let it all out? It plays on the radio, even on television. How confident do you get?
You can never be confident because this market is very fickle. One day you'll be the hottest, the next day you'll be the hottest. So you're always uncomfortable with the drop. Not uncomfortable, but scared. There's a sense of what if they don't like it? What if this is not the time for a song? And it happens, and it's okay because you learn from that and you move on, and you learn from that, and you show what you've learned in the next drop. So every single drop, 5 songs in, every single song I have had a nervous night before the song drops. So it's natural, it's normal, I expect it. I think it would be unnatural for me to not actually be feeling some type of way before I drop. I think you need that. You need that kind of nervousness to kind of push you to actually make it succeed the way that you see the way it succeed.
It's kind of natural for one, especially if you are an aspiring professional, to see the likes of Kaygo making it in the industry and pushing passion and pushing boundaries, and then you imagine yourself doing the same thing. But what would you like for that aspiring artist to know about the industry before they make a decision that they might later regret? What is it that they need to know about the industry so that they are well informed and well ready for them to take over the space? What should you know?
So I think the main thing that I've learned that I'd like to pass on to whoever's aspiring out there is never give up. I mean, I was also listening to an interview the other day, which also clicked back to what I'm saying now. In this industry, you never know when you're going to pop. Imagine if I stopped after the first single, or if AKA didn't drop his first single. One of the stories I heard, one of the interviews I was watching was with one of Ekse's most popular upcoming rappers, Kgotso Tsagae. And he was essentially saying that if Nkalagata didn't pop, it would have been a bit tricky for him because he was 5 to giving up. And look at that, it popped literally when he didn't expect it to pop. It was his last resort. He didn't give up. If you guys actually do the history of Costa, he actually has many songs before you release Nkalagata. So never give up, never stop believing in yourself, always push boundaries, and always try to be different. There's too many of the same thing currently in the industry. So I think be different and never give up.
Paradise is such a banger. Where can people consume it? I know it's available on digital platforms.
Yes, so on your TVs, I've seen it on Channel, I've seen it on MTV, I've seen it on Cape Town TV is going to play it now, I've seen it on every single music channel on TV, iTunes, Apple Music, Spotify, it's all over the place. You can also check out the links on my social media channels, it's all there. So yeah, it's pretty much everywhere. All you have to do is just type in Paradise.
Keep on doing the great work, man. We cannot wait to hear from you again. 2021 has just begun and we are expecting a lot from you. No pressure.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, right now it's time for us to hop on and see Kahle Kahle. What is Lama and Kgotso talking about? This is Paradise. Do enjoy.
Bring it back, bring the alarm, please. I need some Don Julio with lemon and ice, please. Honey's in bikinis, 2 a.m. It's hot season, hot season. One of them nights that I wish could never end. Met somebody, introduced me to her friend, yeah. Said she really tryna get into the VR. Andele, andele, mami, yeah.
I like my cocktails quite sweet, icy, Mr. Kgotso vibe. Yeah, we in the backyard, pricey, nice seats when we living that life. Yeah, I swear I'm in paradise. All my angels hitting me up. Yeah, they balance I'm in zone, getting eyes, really not giving up.